From the Atlantic coast to the shores of the Pacific, across fiery deserts and snow-capped mountains, stretches a nation of contrasts and unparalleled wonders. The United States, land of freedom and opportunity, represents a mosaic of landscapes and cultures that continues to amaze the world. For generations, this land has inspired dreams and ambitions, welcoming millions of people in search of a new life. Sparkling metropolises, dizzying canyons, ancient forests, and boundless prairies. The American territory is a canvas of incredible diversity, changing dramatically across its 50 states. In this video, we will take you to discover the 80 most extraordinary places in a nation that in just over 2 centuries has created a unique mosaic of nature and modernity. Welcome to the United States of America. Though it is a relatively young nation in world history, it has quickly shaped a unique and diverse identity, where indigenous traditions blend with influences from every corner of the planet. The vastness of the territory and the extreme variety of its ecosystems make it impossible to capture the American essence in a single trip, creating the eternal dilemma of what to see first. Today, we will guide you through 80 places that represent the most authentic and surprising soul of the United States of America. Let's begin. Arches National Park. The red desert transforms into a museum, while the sun illuminates over 2,000 rock formations that tower against the Utah sky. The sandstone arches tell a story millions of years old, shaped by wind and water with patient determination. Visitors walk among these natural sculptures, following trails that lead to Delicate Arch, the symbol of the state. Additionally, desert wildlife moves silently among the rocks, while botanists study plants that survive in this extreme environment. At night, the park reveals another face when stars form a luminous dome above the landscape. This national park represents the persistence of nature and its transformative power through time. Sequoia National Park. The trees rise toward the sky like natural skyscrapers, some growing for over 3,000 years. Sequoia National Park preserves these giants that have witnessed the rise and fall of human civilizations while remaining motionless in their realm. General Sherman stands as the largest tree on Earth, with a trunk that requires 15 people with outstretched arms to surround it. Typically, sequoias survive fires thanks to their thick bark that protects the tree's core. And in fact, they need fire to reproduce, as flames open the cones and release the seeds. Black bears move among these colossi in search of food, while rangers guide visitors through forests where light barely filters down to the ground. The silence here is interrupted only by wind blowing through the high branches or the occasional sound of a pine cone falling to the ground after an 80-meter journey. New Orleans. In this city, jazz music resonates through the streets like a vital artery. The dry, humid air carries centuries of history, while passers-by catch the scent of fresh beignets and the sound of trumpets echoing in the distance. The French Quarter stands out with its characteristic wrought iron balconies and cobblestone streets that transport visitors to times past. However, it's after sunset that New Orleans reveals its true essence. On Bourbon Street, lights and laughter dominate the nightlife. The venues on Frenchmen Street, meanwhile, host musicians creating jazz melodies that seem to dance above the waters of the Mississippi. But New Orleans also retains an enigmatic side. The cemeteries with raised tombs and voodoo practices still represent a place where reality and mystery blend, similar to the fog that envelops the river in the early morning hours. The city, however, presents itself as a universe of its own, made of contrasts and unexpected revelations, where visitors immerse themselves in an atmosphere completely different from the rest of the world. Badlands National Park. The earth breaks into pinnacles and ridges that almost seem to belong to another planet, while the wind blows across the surrounding prairies. Fossils hidden in the sedimentary rocks reveal creatures that roamed here millions of years ago when the area was a tropical sea. Here, walkways are suspended between formations, from where you can observe how erosion continues to sculpt the landscape, day after day. Additionally, bison roam freely in the prairies, connecting the present to the past of these lands. Finally, among the arid rocks, small, colorful flowers and resilient plants find their space, bringing life and color to this harsh but fascinating landscape. San Francisco. Dominated by the majestic Golden Gate Bridge, it's a city rich in recognizable symbols and characterized by an extraordinary cultural fusion. The famous Red Bridge stands against the sky, representing not just an engineering feat, but the very soul of the city. The historic cable cars, meanwhile, tirelessly traverse the steep city slopes, offering passengers panoramic views of the bay and surroundings that change with every turn. These characteristic modes of transportation constitute a living connection to the city's past. Fisherman's Wharf, moreover, serves as the beating heart of port activity, where fishermen work from the first light of dawn, while tourists can savor freshly caught fish and seafood at the numerous stalls and restaurants lining the pier. The city also functions as an important artistic and cultural center, with institutions like the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, or with various local theaters presenting a wide range of performances from classical ballet to the latest Broadway musicals. Finally, distinctive neighborhoods like the lively Chinatown and historic Castro reveal the metropolis's multiple faces, each with its own identity and unique past. Walking through these areas, one perceives how San Francisco remains a place where differences in progress move side by side, creating an urban environment in continuous evolution and open to new ideas. Maroon Bells. The mountains are reflected in a lake like a mirror when dawn illuminates the Twin Peaks, the most photographed in North America. Tourists arrive at the beginning of the day to capture the moment when light transforms the water into a kaleidoscope of colors. During autumn, aspen woods create a golden mosaic that contrasts with the sedimentary rocks. Wildlife moves freely among the alpine meadows, while hikers travel trails that extend for miles into the surrounding wilderness. In winter, snow covers the landscape, completely transforming the area. The Maroon Bells, therefore, tell the story of geological forces that created the Rocky Mountains and continue to shape this natural sanctuary in Colorado. Big Sur. Between San Francisco and Los Angeles stretches one of the most spectacular coastal sections in the world. Big Sur is a place where the Santa Lucia Mountains plunge dramatically into the Pacific Ocean, creating wonderful panoramas at every turn of Highway 1. Iconic bridges like Bixby Creek Bridge seem suspended between sky and sea. Hidden beaches, accessible only through steep trails, offer a rare solitude in California. The giant redwoods of Julia Pfeiffer Burns State Park create natural cathedrals, while McWay Falls plunges directly into the ocean in a surreal spectacle. Artists, writers, and spiritual seekers have found inspiration in these landscapes for decades. That's why Big Sur is more than a destination. It's an experience that touches the soul, a place where nature's majesty reveals itself in all its power. Olympic National Park. In the state of Washington, it's a mosaic of diverse natural ecosystems. The park consists of pristine shorelines lashed by Pacific Ocean waves, snow-capped mountain peaks, and rainforests populated by colossal trees. In the early hours of the day, mist envelops the conifer trunks, creating a fairy tale atmosphere. Here, visitors can encounter majestic Roosevelt elk, which move calmly through grassy expanses dotted with wildflowers. On the shoreline, meanwhile, imposing rock formations emerge from the waters, with the tide revealing microcosms rich with life among the reefs when it recedes. In this territory, nature maintains its undisputed dominion, thus serving as a sanctuary for both wildlife and humans seeking connection with still intact environments. It should also be emphasized that the park therefore represents one of the last corners of the planet where human footprint remains almost invisible. Chicago. Chicago, known as the Windy City, sits on the shores of Lake Michigan. It has a world-famous skyline full of impressive skyscrapers. The metropolis features distinctive architectural structures, such as the imposing Willis Tower and innovative creations by architect Frank Lloyd Wright. At the heart of Millennium Park is Cloud Gate, commonly called the Bean, a massive bean-shaped metal installation that captures and transforms reflections of the city panorama. The Chicago River, with its characteristic emerald green water and the movable bridges that cross it, is the beating heart of the city, offering architectural cruises that reveal its spectacular layout. At night, the lights create a majestic spectacle, while the fashionable venues of River North and rooftop bars offer panoramic views and sophisticated cocktails until the early hours of the morning. Additionally, each area of Chicago manifests its own identity and preserves the memories of immigrant communities that settled there to build a future. These neighborhoods, therefore, tell stories of hope and new beginnings, contributing to the rich cultural fabric of the city. Philadelphia. Often called Philly, it's a city where American history blends with modern life. It's here that American democracy was born. You can visit Independence Hall, where the Declaration of Independence was signed, and see the Liberty Bell, the famous bell symbolizing freedom. The Museum of Art, made famous by the film Rocky, houses very important works of art. Additionally, the city is full of colorful murals, transforming streets into true open-air art galleries. Every neighborhood in Philadelphia has its story to tell, from the tree-lined avenues of Rittenhouse Square to the narrow streets of Old City. Philly is a city that doesn't take itself too seriously, as it mixes pride in its history with street authenticity. Yosemite National Park. In California's Sierra Nevada, Yosemite presents itself as a natural treasure, characterized by imposing granite walls, mountain lakes, and impressive waterfalls. Indeed, this landscape contains some of America's most iconic views. El Capitan and Half Dome, for example, massive rock formations, attract climbers from around the world who dream of conquering their vertical walls. Yosemite Falls, on the other hand, rank among the highest waterfalls in North America and amaze tourists with the power of their water flow. The hiking trails, moreover, wind through grassy expanses dotted with flowers, giant sequoia forests, and mountain passes, thus offering unique perspectives on Yosemite Valley. Finally, Glacier Point's viewpoint offers extraordinary views of the surrounding peaks and deep gorges, and from this privileged position, tourists can appreciate the vastness of the landscape in all its magnificence. New York City. Known as the city that never sleeps, it's the beating heart of global culture, art, and business. From the iconic Statue of Liberty to Times Square, every corner of this metropolis has something unique to offer. Central Park, for example, is a rectangle of nature in the heart of the urban jungle, where squirrels make friends with passers-by. And then there's Broadway, offering world-class theatrical performances, while neighborhoods like Harlem are known for their deep cultural and musical heritage. But the real show is at dawn, when the sun rises between the skyscrapers, creating an effect New Yorkers call Manhattan Hinge. At night, millions of lights transform the city into an earthly universe, while beneath the bridges, the East River flows silently as it has for centuries. Bryce Canyon region. A natural amphitheater suddenly opens before visitors' eyes, revealing thousands of rock formations called hoodoos, which emerge from the ground like stone soldiers. Erosion has worked for millions of years, sculpting the rock into pinnacles that change color as the hours pass. At dawn, light transforms the canyon into a sea of shades, while shadows play between the rock crevices. Then there are the trails that descend toward the bottom, allowing hikers to walk among these formations and observe the hidden details up close. In this place, geological history is revealed layer by layer, telling of ancient lakes and rivers that shaped this land, and showing how patience and constancy can create natural works of art. Glacier National Park. Nestled in the heart of Montana, this natural sanctuary represents a testament to the shaping power of glaciers. The U-shaped valleys, crystal-clear lakes, and pointed peaks tell an ancient story of interaction between ice and stone. The Going to the Sun Road, an extraordinary engineering feat, develops through spectacular scenery and allows observation of still intact wilderness. In this environment, the grizzly bear dominates the territory, while eagles fly above the conifer expanses. The moment of sunrise on Lake McDonald, when colorful stones shimmer beneath the smooth water surface, creates a breathtaking experience that generates deep emotions. This park, however, is also giving us concrete warnings, with its rapidly shrinking glaciers, reminding us how vulnerable these special environments are. Hawaii. A tropical paradise formed by several islands, each with its unique personality. This Pacific archipelago offers wonderful landscapes, a rich culture, and special harmony with nature. Oahu, the most famous island, mixes the energy of Honolulu City with natural beauty. Here you'll find the famous Waikiki Beach with its modern skyline, but also the North Shore with giant waves that attract surfers from around the world. You can also visit Pearl Harbor to learn an important piece of history, or the Polynesian Cultural Center to immerse yourself in Pacific traditions. Maui, instead, called the Valley Island, is famous for its varied landscapes. Sunrise viewed from the crater of Haleakala volcano, for example, is an unforgettable experience. Or the road to Hana, a winding road, leads through tropical forests, waterfalls, and black sand beaches. Then there's Maui, which is perfect for snorkeling and for relaxing on dreamlike beaches. Kauai, known as the Garden Island, is a paradise for nature lovers. Waimea Canyon, on the other hand, called the Pacific's Grand Canyon, takes your breath away. The Na Pali coast, with its green cliffs that drop into the blue sea, looks like it came straight from a movie. The Big Island, finally, is the largest and most varied. Here we find active volcanoes in Volcanoes National Park, but also green, black, and golden sand beaches. And you can even do astronomical observations from Mauna Kea. Hawaii is the heart of Polynesian culture, where ancient traditions like the hula, a traditional dance, and luaus, traditional feasts, are still alive. Moreover, the concept of ohana, or family, is very important and extends beyond blood ties, including the community, tourists, and nature itself. Visiting Hawaii reminds us how connected we are with nature and how important it is to respect and preserve the beauty of our planet and ancient cultures. Sedona. This Arizona city emerges from the desert with an incredibly rare landscape. Red rocks rise from the arid earth, forming unique silhouettes against the intense blue sky. At dawn and sunset, the sun transforms these formations into stone flames, a spectacle that continues to attract tourists and spiritual seekers from everywhere. According to some, among the canyons hide what many call energy vortexes, points that attract people seeking healing or spiritual connection. Additionally, the area offers numerous trails to explore these primordial landscapes on foot, while in the city center, there's a mix of art galleries and refined boutiques. Sedona represents the meeting of the old American West and the contemporary world. Here, nature manifests in its most dramatic form, while visitors find a space to breathe, reflect, and regain their balance. Houston. The fourth most populous city in the United States extends across the vastness of eastern Texas. Houston initially prospered as a port center, then transformed into the energy capital with the discovery of oil at Spindletop in 1901. The Museum District hosts 19 cultural institutions in a walkable area, where the Museum of Fine Arts preserves works ranging from Egyptian antiquity to contemporary art. In nearby Herman Park, the Japanese Garden offers an oasis of tranquility among curved bridges and streams. Additionally, this city speaks 145 different languages and offers cuisines from every corner of the world. The neighborhoods, moreover, come alive with Tejano music, hip-hop, and country, while food trucks serve tacos and barbecue until dawn. Oregon coast. A wild and dramatic shoreline stretches for nearly 600 kilometers along the Pacific, offering some of America's most spectacular coastal landscapes. Cliffs overlooking the sea alternate with golden sand beaches, while rock formations like Haystack Rock at Cannon Beach create iconic silhouettes against fiery sunsets. Temperate rainforests descend to the shore, creating a unique contrast between intense green and oceanic blue. Historic lighthouses, silent witnesses to centuries of navigation, dot the coast. State parks like Ecola and Cape Lookout, meanwhile, offer panoramic trails with unmissable views of the ocean. Finally, the small coastal towns from Astoria to Newport preserve a retro charm with their characteristic ports and artisan shops. Monument Valley. Between Arizona and Utah, there's a landscape that looks like it came from a Western movie. Huge red rocks rise from the ground against an intense blue sky. The road crossing the valley offers incredible views that change with the daylight. At dawn, everything is colored fiery red, while at sunset, the sky turns purple. This place is sacred to the Navajo, the Native Americans of the area. Here, the rocks tell ancient stories. The desert is very quiet, and you can only hear the wind blowing between the rocks, as it has for thousands of years. Monument Valley is an experience that touches you inside and makes you feel small in the face of nature's grandeur. Asheville. A small city hidden among the Blue Ridge Mountains in the southern United States. It's a special place that blends art and nature in a unique way. Wherever you go, there are colorful murals on walls, art galleries, and local craft shops. One of the main attractions is the Biltmore Estate, the largest private palace in America, and visiting it is like stepping back in time to America's golden age. The city is surrounded by beautiful nature. From here, in fact, you can set out to explore the Blue Ridge Parkway, a scenic road with beautiful mountain views. Asheville has a free and creative spirit, but at the same time maintains the warmth and hospitality typical of the South. Miami. Miami is a city full of life and colors, where different cultures blend. It has a Caribbean atmosphere, but with a touch of American luxury. The renowned beaches of South Beach, with their expanse of white sand, serve as an open-air runway where sunbathers display beauty and trends under Florida's blazing sun. The Art Deco district, meanwhile, is distinguished by its vibrantly colored buildings, dating back to the 1920s and 1930s. And then there's Little Havana, which transports visitors to a corner of Cuba. Here you'll find coffee shops, people enjoying artisanal cigars, and elderly individuals challenging each other at dominoes on tables arranged along the sidewalks. The Wynwood area represents a refuge for art enthusiasts, with its walls decorated with murals and contemporary exhibition spaces. Additionally, when night falls, Miami transforms under countless neon lights, while Latin American melodies invite everyone to let loose on the dance floor until the first light of day. In Miami, fun is elevated to an art form, while cultural multiplicity is celebrated in every corner. The Wave. Located between Arizona and Utah, the Wave is a geological formation without equal. Its layers of sandstone shaped by wind and precipitation create the illusion of motionless waves on the rocky surface. These layers of stone, which are tinged with shades of red, yellow, and orange, generate a hypnotic scenery that seems to belong to an alternative reality, and the visual effect immediately captures visitors' gaze. To safeguard the natural environment of this fragile area, however, authorities have implemented severe access restrictions through a system of limited daily permits. Nevertheless, for the fortunate ones who manage to secure one of the few available permits, the panorama that presents itself after the journey amply compensates for the effort of the trek. The wave therefore offers an experience that combines natural beauty and the sensation of discovering a still relatively unexplored place. Las Vegas. In the heart of the Nevada desert, Las Vegas shines like a neon mirage of promises. A city that never sleeps, where the Bellagio fountains dance beneath the desert stars, and a miniature Eiffel Tower challenges the sky next to an Egyptian pyramid. Behind the dazzling casino lights, starred chefs create culinary masterpieces, while Cirque du Soleil artists defy gravity. By day, the red desert surrounding the city tells a different story, that of a primordial landscape where time has sculpted canyons and valleys. Las Vegas is a bold experiment, a city that has transformed nothing into everything, where every night is a show and every dawn brings new surprises. Boston. This city is rich in American history, such as in the Freedom Trail, which is a path that leads through ancient buildings and historic sites, telling how America was born. But Boston is also a modern and lively city. Here, future technology blends with centuries of university tradition. The famous universities Harvard and MIT create an atmosphere of knowledge and innovation. In neighborhoods like Back Bay, you see elegant Victorian houses next to modern skyscrapers. Fenway Park, the baseball stadium, is still filled with Red Sox fans' enthusiasm. The harbor, moreover, where the famous Boston Tea Party once took place, is now a lively place full of culture and good food. In Boston, finally, you can hear the typical local accent and drink a Sam Adams beer in a city that perfectly combines the old and new worlds. painted hills. The hills reveal themselves gradually, one after another, as you travel the various trails that wind between colored layers of earth, telling about 35 million years of history. Each band represents a different era, when Oregon's climate varied from tropical to arid, and sunlight plays with these layers during the day, transforming the landscape hour by hour. Rain, moreover, intensifies the colors, creating a contrast that attracts photographers from around the world, while vegetation grows sparsely, with plants that have adapted to survive in this unique environment. Here, various fossils hidden in the rocks reveal animals and plants that populated the area when it was an alluvial plain. This certainly reminds us how our planet constantly changes, writing its history on the walls of mountains for those who know how to read it. Seattle. Seattle is located between Puget Sound and the Cascade Mountains. It's called the Emerald City for the evergreen forests that surround it. The Space Needle, a very tall tower, is the symbol of the city and shows how Seattle looks to the future. Pike Place Market is a famous market full of life, where you find stalls of fresh fish, colorful flowers, and the smell of coffee. Music is very important here. In fact, grunge originated here, which is a type of rock, and even today there is a very active music scene. Seattle is also a technology city with large companies like Amazon and Microsoft, but at the same time, people love nature very much and try to protect it. Every neighborhood of the city has its own character, like Capitol Hill, which is lively and trendy, while Fremont is more eccentric and artistic. Even though it's famous for rain, this city certainly knows how to shine, offering a unique mix of nature, culture, and innovation. Joshua Tree National Park. Two deserts meet in this corner of California, creating an ecosystem where life adapts to survive in extreme conditions. Joshua trees, actually giant yuccas, extend toward the sky with twisted branches, like arms raised in prayer. Rock formations pop out of the earth, piled in stacks that defy gravity. And tourists climb among these boulders, exploring cavities and passages created by erosion. Desert animals come out at sunset when temperatures drop, and hunting becomes possible. Joshua Tree is a place where plants and animals have developed their own strategies to thrive where water is scarce and the sun burns without mercy. San Antonio. Cultural heart of Texas, it blends Spanish colonial history, Texan pride, and vibrant Mexican-American culture. The River Walk, a network of walkways along the San Antonio River, is the beating heart of the city with its restaurants, shops, and tourist boats. At night, colored lights illuminating the bridges and trees transform the river into a magical setting where live music and cooking aromas fill the air. The Alamo, symbol of Texas's struggle for independence, tells a story of courage and sacrifice. The Spanish missions, on the other hand, are UNESCO World Heritage Sites that offer a glimpse into colonial life. Continuing, the Pearl District, a former brewery transformed into a trendy neighborhood, exemplifies the city's urban renaissance. With its unique mix of history, culture, and modernity, San Antonio offers an authentic and surprising Texan experience. Pittsburgh. Reborn from the ashes of the industrial era, this Pennsylvania city surprises with its metamorphosis. Nestled between three rivers, it offers a unique urban panorama, best appreciated from the historic Duquesne Incline. Its skyline, once dominated by smokestacks, now shines with futuristic skyscrapers reflected in the waters. Cradle of Andy Warhol, Pittsburgh boasts cutting-edge art museums and a burgeoning gastronomic scene. In neighborhoods like Lawrenceville and East Liberty, old warehouses transform into fashionable lofts and craft breweries. The Phipps Conservatory, meanwhile, symbolizes the city's commitment to a sustainable future. Pittsburgh is an experience that challenges expectations, a place where the industrial past merges with an emotionally charged present, inviting tourists to discover how a city can reinvent itself without losing its soul. Bonneville Salt Flats. A white desert extends to the horizon, like an ocean frozen in time, formed from the remains of a prehistoric lake that covered this region 13,000 years ago. The water has evaporated, leaving an expanse of compacted salt where speed reigns supreme. In fact, drivers arrive here each year to attempt to break world records, racing with aerodynamic vehicles and taking advantage of the perfectly flat surface. The heat, moreover, distorts the view, creating mirages that confuse perception of distance and space. During the rainy season, meanwhile, a thin layer of water transforms this land into a giant mirror reflecting the sky and clouds. The salt flats are an example of how nature creates surreal places, a landscape in continuous transformation that challenges human imagination. Grand Teton National Park. In the heart of Wyoming, Grand Teton National Park offers one of America's most spectacular mountain landscapes. The Teton Range rises suddenly from the Jackson Hole Valley, creating a jagged profile reflected in crystal-clear alpine lakes. The iconic Grand Teton Mountain dominates the skyline, challenging climbers and photographers. Wildlife abounds, with herds of bison roaming the meadows, elk drinking from streams, and grizzly bears wandering in the woods. The Snake River offers opportunities for rafting and fishing, while numerous hiking trails lead to magnificent panoramas and hidden waterfalls. In autumn, finally, aspens tinge the slopes with gold, creating a stunning contrast with the snow-capped peaks. Santa Monica. The California coast meets urban culture in this corner of Los Angeles, where the iconic Ferris wheel on the pier stands against the Pacific horizon. Surfers ride the waves from dawn, while cyclists travel the path that winds for miles along the beach. The pier, meanwhile, extends into the ocean, hosting an amusement park that preserves the nostalgic atmosphere of mid-century California. There are also palm trees swaying in the sea breeze, while street artists entertain visitors from all parts of the world. Additionally, 3rd Street Promenade pulses with life, featuring musicians, shops, and restaurants until late at night, while restored Victorian houses tell the story of the first settlers. Santa Monica represents the essence of the California dream, a place where nature and culture blend. Canyonlands Desert. The Colorado and Green Rivers meet in this maze of canyons, creating a landscape divided into districts that seem to belong to different worlds. Water has sculpted the rock for millions of years, revealing geological layers that tell Earth's story. Tourists usually stop at the edge of Mesa Arch, where the sunrise illuminates the arch and reveals the abyss below. Dinosaur tracks imprinted in stone testify to an era when these arid lands were a tropical environment, while mountain bike enthusiasts can travel the legendary White Rim Trail, a 160-kilometer route that circles the park. At sunset, shadows lengthen between rock formations, while the desert silence is occasionally interrupted by the call of raptors soaring high in the sky. Black Hills. The mountains appear from the prairie, forming one of the sacred places for Lakota tribes. The faces of 4 presidents look from Mount Rushmore, carved into the rock by Gutzon Borglum in a project that lasted 14 years. Not far away, the monument to Crazy Horse is slowly taking shape, destined to become the world's largest sculpture when completed. Bison, moreover, roam freely through Custer State Park, while Wind Cave Caves hide one of the planet's most complex underground systems, with boxwork formations unique in the world. And then there are the ponderosa trees that cover the hills, releasing a vanilla scent when the sun warms their bark. Charleston. This South Carolina city shows all the charm of the American South. Palms and ancient oaks shade stone streets where colorful old-style houses tell stories of times past. In the air, the scent of jasmine and magnolia mixes with the smell of fresh fish from local restaurants. From Battery Park, you can enjoy a beautiful view of the bay, while Fort Sumter recalls the beginning of the American Civil War. But Charleston is not just a museum city, rather it's full of life. Here, the typical Southern hospitality combines with a lively art scene, with music and theater festivals in the squares, and open-air markets where you can taste local foods. Yellowstone National Park. In Wyoming's heart, the earth breathes. Yellowstone is a sleeping giant resting on one of the world's largest supervolcanoes. Here, geysers explode with Swiss precision, mud pots bubble like cosmic pots, and bison roam free as they did millions of years ago. The Grand Prismatic Spring paints the ground with impossible colors, while packs of gray wolves, reintroduced in 1995, have restored balance to this unique ecosystem. Every morning, the mist rising from the valleys reveals a prehistoric world, survived to our days. A place where nature stages a primordial show in continuous evolution. Death Valley. An environment of absolute extreme conditions, located between California and Nevada. This desert territory appears as a landscape from another world, also constituting the lowest elevation point in North America and the place where the highest temperature on the planet has been recorded. In this area, there are surprising scenes, with formations of golden sand dunes alternating with plains covered in white salt. Badwater Basin, for example, one of the most characteristic zones, offers panoramas reminiscent of the lunar surface, with its cracked terrain and salt expanses. Despite the ominous name, this environment hosts various life forms. In fact, following sporadic rain events, the desert temporarily transforms into a carpet of colorful wildflowers, creating a spectacle as unexpected as it is fascinating. Death Valley thus demonstrates the strength and beauty of nature, capable of manifesting even in the most prohibitive environmental conditions. Santa Fe. The capital of New Mexico, and a place where different cultures meet. Here, art and history blend under an intensely blue sky. The houses are built in adobe style, made of clay and straw, which gives the city a unique appearance. The center of the city is the plaza, always full of life, while on a single street, Canyon Road, there are more than 100 art galleries. Santa Fe food is special, with chili, which is a red or green chili pepper used in many dishes, giving them a unique flavor. Near the city, you can visit Bonneville National Monument, where there are ancient houses carved into the rock by Native Americans. Santa Fe, therefore, is a place where Native American spirituality blends with Spanish and American influences. Antelope Canyon. A cut in the red rock of Arizona that hides a secret. Antelope Canyon is a narrow corridor carved by water in sandstone. Sunlight infiltrates from above, creating beams that look like laser rays. The smooth, undulating walls tell the story of ancient rivers that have shaped the rock itself for millions of years. Colors change with every hour of the day, from orange to red to purple. While during summer thunderstorms, water still flows through the canyon today, like an underground river. In this place, nature has created a hidden artwork in the desert, accessible only through narrow ladders and winding passages. Washington, D.C. Capital of the nation and nerve center of American politics. Washington, D.C. represents a city where history and power merge. The National Mall, with its emblematic structures like the Lincoln Memorial and Washington Monument, presents an imposing scenery that invites reflection on the country's past and destiny. The Smithsonian Museums, meanwhile, accessible for free and of international caliber, cover fields ranging from art to science, from historical events to expressions of contemporary culture. In this metropolis, Capitol Hill buzzes with legislative activities, while the White House continues to serve as an emblem of world leadership. But beyond the political aspect, the city surprises with animated residential areas and varied evening entertainment possibilities. Additionally, during spring, the blooming cherry trees surrounding the tidal basin create a magical atmosphere, thus becoming a symbol of friendly relations between nations. Lake Tahoe. A beautiful mountain lake between California and Nevada. Its waters are so clear they seem like crystal, and around it are majestic mountains. In summer, the golden sand beaches are perfect for swimming and water sports. There are also many trails for hiking, from which you can appreciate romantic panoramas of the lake. In winter, the place transforms into a paradise for those who love skiing and snowboarding, with some of America's best ski resorts. On the Nevada side, moreover, there are casinos and luxury resorts, while the California part is more wild and tranquil. This mix makes it a unique place where you can find both adventure and relaxation, with the lake changing appearance with the seasons, but always remaining a magical place. Cape Cod. A peninsula that extends into the Atlantic, like natural protection from the ocean's force. The first European settlers landed here in 1620 before establishing themselves in Plymouth, leaving footprints in the sand that time has erased, but history remembers. Lighthouses dot the coast, guides for sailors who have navigated these waters for centuries, and right whales swim offshore during migration, observed from boats full of visitors. Fishermen go out at dawn to economically support the community, while tides shape the beaches twice a day, revealing shells and hidden crabs. Cape Cod represents the meeting of land and sea, an ecosystem in constant evolution, where nature still dictates the rhythm of life. Redwood National Park. The giants of the California coast tower toward the sky, while morning fog envelops their massive trunks. These trees have existed for over 2,000 years, silent witnesses to the history that has unfolded beneath their branches. Here, visitors walk with their necks bent backward, trying to glimpse the tops that reach heights of over 100 meters, and light filters through the foliage, creating rays that illuminate the understory rich with life. Mushrooms and ferns thrive in the humid ecosystem, while the nearby coast completes this primordial world with beaches where ocean waves have shaped rocks and logs carried by the current. Redwood represents nature's resilience, a place where humans rediscover their own dimension in the universe. Outer Banks. A thin strip of beaches that stretches into the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of North Carolina. It's a paradise for those who love the sea and history, Here, you'll find large sand dunes and old lighthouses that tell stories of navigators from the past. The beaches of Cape Hatteras are wild and perfect for both relaxing and sports. At Kitty Hawk, meanwhile, you can see the place where the Wright brothers made the first airplane flights. There are also small fishing villages that seem to have stopped in time. Savannah. In Georgia, it's known as the hospitable city of the South. It welcomes visitors with trees covered in Spanish moss and the typical warmth of the American South. The city squares are full of ancient oaks that tell stories of a romantic, yet also difficult past. The pre-Civil War style buildings blend well with more modern constructions, creating a unique urban landscape. Forsyth Park, with its famous fountain, is the green heart of the city. River Street, meanwhile, along the Savannah River, is full of life and activity. The food here blends Southern tradition with modern influences, offering unforgettable flavors. Additionally, you can visit historic houses to immerse yourself in the atmosphere of the past. Chesapeake Bay. The largest estuary in the United States has shaped the history and identity of Maryland and Virginia since colonial times, when the first European settlements appeared on its shores. The port cities of Annapolis, Baltimore, and Norfolk dot its coasts, witnesses to a maritime history ranging from the War of Independence to the contemporary naval industry, with shipyards that have built military and merchant ships for centuries. From these waters was also born a distinct regional architecture, with characteristic red brick colonial houses and the iconic skipjacks, which are sailing fishing boats designed specifically for the bay's shallow waters. Today, the bay's fishermen struggle to keep their traditional lifestyle alive against the challenges of pollution and overfishing, becoming a symbol of the difficult balance between economic development and environmental conservation. Los Angeles. A metropolis of aspirations, celebrities, and endless opportunities, known primarily for Hollywood and its worldwide influence in the entertainment industry. Beyond the allure of film premieres and star footprints on the Walk of Fame, the city offers a wide range of cultural and environmental experiences. From Venice Beach, with its skaters and street performers, to Griffith Park, where the Griffith Observatory offers complete views of the urban expanse and the famous Hollywood sign. Visitors can therefore explore both the lively beaches and the natural areas surrounding the city. Los Angeles also functions as an important hub for prestigious artistic institutions, like the Getty Center, which contains European collections and meticulously detailed gardens, and the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. These cultural spaces certainly offer an interesting contrast to the glamorous image more commonly associated with the city. Sonoran Desert. Saguaro cacti stand like sentinels in this extreme territory. They live up to 200 years and grow only here, becoming symbols of resistance. Here, the temperature ranges from 45 degrees during the day to intense cold after sunset. Natives have also left petroglyphs on rocks, witnesses to human presence in these seemingly inhospitable lands. Additionally, every spring, after winter rains, the ground is covered with wildflowers for a few weeks, transforming the landscape, while at night, the desert comes alive when snakes, coyotes, and owls come out to hunt under the starry sky. In the Sonoran, finally, water represents life. The saguaro, in fact, stores enough to survive years of drought, while many animals remain in hibernation until the rains arrive. Mount Hood. A sleeping giant, dominates Portland's horizon. Mount Hood is not just a mountain, but a reference point for the entire region for millennia. Its slopes speak of volcanic eruptions that have shaped the surrounding land. The glaciers on the summit, meanwhile, feed 5 main rivers, creating a vital network for forests and downstream communities. Natives considered this place sacred, while today, skiers, mountaineers, and hikers experience it in both summer and winter. Its forests host deer, bears, and mountain lions that move among the trees, while sudden storms can transform the climate in minutes, reminding everyone that Mount Hood follows its own rules. Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon represents more than a natural wonder. It's a journey through geological ages. This immense chasm, carved into central Arizona, is like an open-air museum that tells Earth's story from millions of years ago. For adventurers, no experience is more stimulating than traveling the trails along the South Rim, contemplating extraordinary panoramas and sunsets that color the sky in orange and red tones. Guided excursions to the canyon floor, meanwhile, offer a completely different perspective, thus revealing the different rock layers that tell the story of our planet's overlapping geological eras. Additionally, for a truly impressive view, flying over the canyon aboard a helicopter allows you to fully appreciate its vastness. This aerial perspective, therefore, reveals the incredible breadth and immensity of this natural formation. Dallas. Dallas's skyline reveals the story of a city, born from oil and transformed into a financial center. Skyscrapers didn't exist here until the 1970s, but now dominate the horizon with their glass reflecting the Texas sun. Today, among the skyscrapers, residents still remember when this land was full of cowboys and ranches just 100 years ago. But now the city has become so important that it hosts more major companies than many American states combined. During weekends, parks fill with families grilling barbecue, while country and hip-hop music mixes in the air. And then there's the Trinity River, which crosses the metropolis, connecting neighborhoods that would otherwise never meet. Rocky Mountain National Park. An alpine paradise extends in the heart of Colorado, where the Rocky Mountains touch the sky. Snow-capped peaks are reflected in crystal lakes, while alpine meadows explode in a kaleidoscope of wildflowers during the brief summer. Trail Ridge Road, America's highest paved road, offers incredible views and the opportunity to cross different ecosystems in a few hours. Here, elk roam free, bighorn sheep climb steep slopes, and marmots whistle warnings from their rocky dens. Hikers and climbers can find challenges for every level. In autumn, finally, aspen woods are tinged with gold, creating an unforgettable spectacle. Portland. Eccentric and proudly nonconformist, Portland embodies the innovative spirit of the Pacific Northwest. Known as the City of Roses for its lush gardens, it's an example of sustainable urban planning with an extensive park system and an enviable network of bicycle paths. The city has a vibrant artistic and cultural scene, ranging from colorful murals to numerous festivals, while local gastronomy is a triumph of creativity. Neighborhoods like the Pearl District and Alberta Arts District, meanwhile, teem with galleries, independent coffee shops, and unique bookstores like the famous Powell's City of Books. Surrounded by spectacular nature, with Mount Hood standing on the horizon and the Willamette River crossing the center, Portland offers a unique balance between urban life and love for the outdoors. Everglades Wetlands. Water flows slowly through this vast river of grass, while life pulses in every nook. An alligator moves silently through the channels, then disappears. The Everglades are not just a swamp, but a living system that breathes with the seasons. Throughout the year, water flow completely transforms the landscape, creating habitat for over 350 bird species that fly above this aquatic giant. People often ignore that this ecosystem provides drinking water to millions of people in Florida. In fact, the Seminoles have lived here for generations, adapting to a territory that constantly changes. The Everglades continue to exist despite threats from urban development and climate change, witnesses to a balance as fragile as it is essential. Napa Valley. "400 wineries are distributed in just 50 kilometers of territory, creating a mosaic of vineyards. Morning fog from San Francisco Bay rolls over the hills, creating the ideal microclimate for world-famous vines. The volcanic soil presents over 100 different variations, allowing cultivation of dozens of grape varieties. Before the 1970s, the region mainly produced nuts and fruit, but everything changed in 1976 when Napa wines defeated French ones in a historic competition that revolutionized the American wine industry. Additionally, beneath the vineyards thrives a complex ecosystem of microorganisms that contributes to the unique flavor of the wines. Nashville. This Tennessee city is the heart of country music. The Grand Ole Opry, a famous radio show, continues to launch new music stars. While on Broadway, the main street, honky-tonk bars are filled with guitars and singers. Nashville is a city that's changing rapidly. There are innovative restaurants and modern art galleries. There's even an exact copy of the Parthenon of Athens in the middle of a city park. From colorful street murals to the quiet tree-lined avenues of Belle Meade, Nashville mixes Southern tradition with a modern touch. All of this is seasoned with plenty of creativity and the typical local hospitality. San Diego. Kissed by the sun of Southern California, it embodies the West Coast dream. Its beaches, from Coronado to Wild Torrey Pines, offer scenarios for every taste, from surfing to relaxation. Balboa Park, an urban oasis, hosts the world's most famous zoo and international-level museums. The Gaslamp Quarter pulses with nightlife, while Little Italy delights with its restaurants and outdoor markets. Spanish colonial history comes alive in the Old Town, among restored historic buildings and mariachis. With its perfect climate year-round and its atmosphere, San Diego offers an ideal balance between urban life and natural beauty, perfectly embodying the essence of the Californian lifestyle. Alaska. America's last frontier. Alaska represents a land of extremes and surprising contrasts. Immense untouched wilderness areas extend wherever you look, dominated by imposing mountains like Denali, the highest peak in North America. During summer months, the midnight sun phenomenon illuminates scenery that seems to belong to another world, while in winter the northern lights move across the Arctic sky. Ancient glaciers like Mendenhall descend toward spectacular fjords, thus creating a unique environment where bears, moose, and eagles find their ideal habitat. Indigenous populations keep ancient customs alive, visible in isolated settlements and totem poles found in the temperate rainforests of the southeastern region. Alaska represents not just a tourist destination, but an experience that tests sensory perceptions and imaginative capacity. A territory where nature maintains its primacy and humans remain only temporary visitors. Mississippi River. Water flows for 3,730 kilometers, connecting 10 American states in a ribbon of life that divides the country in two. The Mississippi represents not just a river, but a commercial route that has transported goods and people for centuries, shaping the cultures of cities that rise on its banks. The river crosses historic metropolises like Minneapolis, St. Louis, Memphis, and vibrant New Orleans, creating a cultural and economic corridor that unites the country's north and south. The Mississippi's benefits are innumerable, from hydroelectric energy production to providing water for irrigation, thus contributing to the prosperity of entire American agricultural regions. Also for this reason, communities along the river celebrate its presence with various festivals that mix blues, Cajun, and country music, while in the evening, city lights reverberate on the water like canvases of a painting. Atlanta. Beating heart of the South, it's a metropolis that blends tradition and innovation with a rhythm all its own. The city that gave birth to Martin Luther King Jr. honors his legacy in the National Center for Civil and Human Rights, while the world of Coca-Cola celebrates the iconic beverage that was born here. The Georgia Aquarium, one of the largest in the world, amazes with its enormous marine fauna while Centennial Olympic Park recalls the 1996 Games. The city's skyline, dominated by modern skyscrapers and contemporary structures, reflects Atlanta's role as an economic and cultural center of the southern United States. Atlanta is also a hub for film and TV, earning the nickname of the Hollywood of the South. With its young energy, rich history, and eyes toward the future, Atlanta embodies the spirit of the New South. Florida Keys. An archipelago of tropical islands stretches from the southern tip of Florida, creating a Caribbean paradise without leaving the United States. Connected by the spectacular overseas highway, the Keys offer a journey through incredible marine landscapes. Key Largo, the world diving capital, invites exploration of coral reefs and mysterious wrecks. Islamorada is the realm of sport fishing, while Marathon offers sanctuaries for sea turtles. But it's Key West, with its bohemian spirit and Caribbean architecture, that captures attention. The Keys are a place where time slows down, cocktails are always fresh, and the ocean is a constant presence, inviting a more relaxed lifestyle in tune with nature. Malibu. Waves break on the coast, while surfers wait for the perfect moment to ride them. Despite recent fires, Malibu remains a symbol of wild beauty and resilience, and represents the California myth in its purest state, where ocean and mountains converge in a territory that has attracted movie stars and hippies for generations. Houses climb steep slopes, many hidden from the road but with a complete view of the Pacific Ocean. Culture here revolves around water, and every morning begins with the surfing ritual. The Pacific Coast Highway, moreover, cuts through this territory, separating beaches from hills and carrying tourists and commuters along one of the most photographed stretches of road in the world. Sunsets here become social events, with residents and visitors stopping every day to watch the sun disappear into the ocean. Denver. The city rises exactly 1 mile above sea level, where the Rocky Mountains meet the plains. Denver was born thanks to gold discovered in 1858, but today shines for its outdoor culture and craft beer scene, with over 100 local breweries. Historic Union Station represents the city center, transformed from a simple railway station to a lively center of restaurants, shops, and social life, thus uniting the function of transportation with contemporary culture. In this city, moreover, the sun shines 300 days a year, creating ideal conditions for exploring the numerous urban parks and bicycle paths that wind along the South Platte River. With its mix of Victorian architecture and modern skyscrapers, Denver tells the story of a metropolis in continuous evolution between past and future. Acadia National Park. The Atlantic coast meets the forest in the first national park east of the Mississippi. Waves crash against pink granite cliffs, while trails wind through centuries-old conifer woods. Visitors climb to Cadillac Mountain, the first point in the continental United States to see the sunrise. Morning fog, meanwhile, envelops inland lakes, creating a landscape that changes with the seasons, passing from the intense green of summer to the flaming colors of autumn. Additionally, tides continuously transform the coastline, uncovering pools rich with marine life during low tide. Acadia represents the meeting of land and sea, a unique ecosystem where the trail network allows exploration of this wild corner of New England. Austin. Austin is the capital of Texas, but it's very different from what you might expect. It defines itself as the world capital of live music and has a unique and progressive spirit. The city is full of venues where live music is played, but it's also an important center for technology, attracting innovators from around the world. The city's motto is "Keep Austin Weird," and it shows in street art, creative food trucks, and bohemian neighborhoods. At the center of the city is Lady Bird Lake, a green oasis perfect for kayaking or stand-up paddling. Finally, the majestic Texas state capitol, with its imposing pink granite dome that towers even higher than the Capitol in Washington, D.C., is a symbol of Texan pride and grandeur, offering free tours that tell the rich political history of the state. Honolulu. The sun rises on this city, while surfers already await the waves at Waikiki. Honolulu is at the crossroads between ancient Polynesian traditions and Western modernity, creating a culture found nowhere else on the planet. Skyscrapers rise against the backdrop of Diamond Head Volcano, which has dominated the horizon for thousands of years, while the city's neighborhoods reflect the island's cultural diversity, with Buddhist temples next to Christian churches and structures that mix Eastern and Western architectural influences. Waikiki Beach, with its golden sand and turquoise waters, represents the tourist heart of the island, where visitors from around the world mix with locals under swaying palm trees. The city, in fact, has always moved to the rhythm of the waves, with the ocean dictating the tempo of life, and residents knowing tide cycles like the backs of their hands. Route 66. Icon of America on the road. Route 66 is much more than a simple highway. It's a journey into the heart of deep America. From Chicago to Los Angeles, this mother road crosses 8 states and 3 time zones, telling the story of westward expansion. Vintage motels with neon signs, period service stations, and 1950s diners dot the route, offering a nostalgic look at mid-century America. Attractions like the Cadillac Ranch in Texas or the giant blue whale basket in Oklahoma add a touch of eccentricity to the journey. The Southwest Desert offers incredible landscapes, with the Grand Canyon as an unmissable stop. Small towns like Seligman preserve the original spirit of the road, while metropolises like St. Louis offer an urban contrast. Traveling Route 66, therefore, is an odyssey through American pop culture, an experience that captures the essence of the American dream. Niagara Falls. Known worldwide and located on the borderline between Canada and the United States, Niagara Falls represent an unparalleled natural phenomenon with their impressive mass of water that precipitates every second. This natural spectacle attracts visitors from every corner of the planet, eager to experience the power of the falls. An excursion aboard the famous Maid of the Mist vessel allows approaching the edge of the falls themselves, completely immersing passengers in the deafening roar and water mist. Additionally, the path that winds behind the falls offers an equally memorable opportunity allowing tourists to observe the water curtain from the inside, thanks to a system of galleries. Night views, meanwhile, when the falls are illuminated by colored light beams, create an unforgettable scenario, while panoramas from Skylon Tower and Clifton Hill allow admiring in its entirety this extraordinary example of nature's power. St. Augustine. Founded in 1565, St. Augustine boasts of being the oldest European settlement still inhabited in the continental United States. Its stone streets tell stories of Spanish conquistadors, pirates, and seekers of eternal youth. The Castillo de San Marcos, a 17th century fortress, dominates the port, a silent witness to centuries of history. Spanish colonial architecture blends with Victorian influences, creating a unique urban landscape. Flagler College, once a luxurious hotel, amazes with its opulent interiors and Tiffany stained glass. St. Augustine is therefore a place where the past is tangible, from gas lanterns that illuminate the streets to the sound of cathedral bells. Every corner exudes charm and mystery. Cannon Beach. The Oregon coast reveals one of its most photographed treasures, while morning fog dissolves around Haystack Rock. This 72-meter basalt monolith emerges from the ocean like a marine guardian, formed by volcanic eruptions that occurred 15 million years ago. Tides mark the rhythm of life on the beach, uncovering pools rich with starfish and anemones when water recedes. Puffins, meanwhile, nest on the rock during summer, diving into the ocean to fish and feed their young. Visitors usually walk for kilometers on the sand, exploring the coast and observing creatures that populate this border between land and sea, with sunset light transforming the landscape every evening. Cannon Beach tells the story of a planet in continuous movement, where the forces of earth and ocean meet and transform each other. Pacific Northwest. Rain falls on redwood forests, while moss covers every surface. The Pacific Northwest contains an ecosystem that survives thanks to the balance between water and land, and embraces the states of Washington, Oregon, and parts of Idaho. The Cascade Range volcanoes rise from the landscape, some still active and ready to awaken, while in ports, fishermen return with salmon swimming upstream to reproduce in the rivers from which they come. The jagged coasts extend for kilometers, with cliffs overlooking the ocean and beaches covered with logs polished by tides. Additionally, the foggy inland valleys host temperate rainforests, where centenarian trees form oases of green and filtered light. And then there are the rural areas of Idaho, where there are farms that produce potatoes, or native tribes that maintain traditions preceding European arrival. Nature and modernity coexist in this region, where traditions and innovation create a mosaic of landscapes and cultures. Orlando. World capital of entertainment, Orlando is a city that makes both adults and children dream. Walt Disney World Resort, with its 4 theme parks, is the beating heart of the city, offering magic and adventure in equal measure. Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure capture the imagination with cutting-edge rides and fantastic worlds. SeaWorld, meanwhile, combines entertainment and marine conservation, while the Kennedy Space Center, a short distance away, inspires future generations of space explorers. The lakes that dot the city, moreover, offer oases of tranquility, while luxury shopping attracts visitors from around the world. Orlando is therefore a place where dreams come to life, and imagination has no limits. Denali National Park. This park in Alaska is dominated by Mount Denali, the highest mountain in North America. It's a true wilderness paradise with immense expanses of tundra, great forests, and glaciers that never melt. Here, grizzly bears, wolves, and caribou live freely. In summer, the sun almost never sets, creating landscapes that seem unreal. In winter, instead, the park becomes a realm of ice and snow, perfect for seeing the northern lights. There's only one road that crosses the park, from which you observe unique panoramas, and with a bit of luck, spot wildlife. In this place, nature still commands and makes visitors understand how small we are in the face of the grandeur of the wild world. New England. A mosaic of states in the northeastern USA, New England embodies the essence of colonial America and the beauty of seasons. In autumn, forests light up with red, orange, and gold, creating a chromatic spectacle that attracts visitors. Maine's jagged coasts, with their iconic lighthouses and fishing villages, contrast with Vermont and New Hampshire mountains, paradises for hikers and skiers. While the characteristic towns of Connecticut and Rhode Island, with their colonial houses and tranquil ports, seem stuck in time. Local gastronomy, from lobster rolls to clam chowders, celebrates the flavors of the sea. Here, moreover, the academic tradition of universities like Harvard and Yale blends with a deep sense of community and a rooted work ethic, creating a region that looks to the future without forgetting its rich past. Upper Peninsula. An extension of land located in the northern part of Michigan, physically separated by Lake Michigan to the south, Lake Superior to the north, and Lake Huron to the east, creating a world apart from the rest of the region. This region constitutes almost a third of Michigan's total surface, yet hosts just 3% of the state's population, thus creating vast, wild, and untouched spaces. Ports once teemed with ships transporting copper and iron extracted from mines, now replaced by fishermen's and tourist boats. During winter, snow falls by meters and transforms woods into a landscape that attracts skiers. There are also several waterfalls that originate among trees, with over 300 waterfalls that precipitate toward the Great Lakes. Additionally, wolves have returned after decades of absence, reclaiming their place in the food chain of the woods. Adirondack Mountains. Lakes dot this region, and the Adirondack Mountains form a circle of peaks that doesn't belong to the Appalachian chain, but exists as a mountain island surrounded by plains. Wealthy New York families built their summer retreats here, called Great Camps, with wooden structures that today tell the story of the American Golden Age. Additionally, water flows pure from mountain springs, feeding rivers that eventually reach the Atlantic Ocean. While in autumn, trees change color, in an explosion that attracts visitors from all over the country. There are also 2,000 miles of trails where hikers can walk for days without encountering signs of civilization, with perhaps black bears moving silently among the trees, despite proximity to the metropolis. Zion National Park. Located in southern Utah, Zion National Park represents an oasis of natural beauty characterized by spectacular canyons and desert plateaus. The territory is distinguished by its contrast between red rocks and lush vegetation. Zion Canyon, forged over millennia by the Virgin River, emerges as the most renowned attraction, with its imposing red sandstone walls and rock formations shaped by nature's force. Additionally, hiking enthusiasts can venture into the famous Narrows, narrow passages through which the river makes its way, or tackle the route leading to Angel's Landing, which offers a complete perspective of the canyon. Finally, natural rock arches and waterfalls transform exploration into a continuous adventure. The park is thus an extraordinary ecosystem where nature's power manifests in surprising and suggestive forms. Carlsbad Caverns. The underground world opens beneath the New Mexico desert, revealing one of the largest natural chambers ever discovered by humans. Visitors descend into darkness along a path that winds more than 200 meters below the surface, where calcite formations grow slowly, almost a centimeter every 100 years, creating structures that seem to defy gravity. Water has sculpted this underground labyrinth drop by drop, dissolving the rock to create rooms connected by winding passages. Usually, silence envelops visitors, interrupted only by the occasional sound of a water droplet falling from a ceiling invisible in the darkness. Barringer Crater. The Barringer Crater, also known as Meteor Crater, is an impressive reminder of cosmic forces' power. Located in the Arizona desert, this crater is the result of a meteorite impact that occurred about 50,000 years ago. With a diameter of almost 1.2 kilometers and a depth of 170 meters, its vastness is breathtaking and offers a glimpse of lunar landscape on Earth. A visit to Barringer Crater is not only educational, but also a powerful visual experience, an unforgettable journey between the frontiers of space and time.